So each position is described through a piece of jewelry. And it's not because, oh, we're too prudish and don't talk about positions by their names. It's the fact that in our literature, we only ever refer to it through the pieces of jewelry because women were taught how to execute these positions, perform these positions by how the jewelry moved on their body. And the first thing that I discovered on the jewelry side of things was, that if the woman was going to be on top, which, as you know, in ancient times, the woman was not permitted to be on top. It was absolutely a forbidden position for women. Being on top was about power, it was about control. In the Kama Sutra, you have several positions where you're on top. But for this, the women were taught to only move their hips. So the idea was that when you sat on top, you only move your hips to come to orgasm or bring your partner to orgasm. And to make sure that that's what you were doing, because it's all about the complete beauty of the picture. So it was about what part of your vagina, which G spot inside your vagina was being stimulated, how the rest of you looked. It was all about being an art form, right? And so women would wear like a jingling girdle on their waist, on their upper waist, with lots of little tiny bells on it. And they would make sure that the bells didn't make a sound because you only moved your hips. And each position had their own piece of jewelry. So in our literature, whenever we talk about in our stories about, how the woman climbed up on top, you never say things like, oh yeah, she climbed up on top and then she humped her way. You don't say any of that. You just say, she put on her jingling girdle. And that she's taken her position on top. Or if the man was to send her a jingling girdle earlier in the evening, she's coming to him later. It was like the ultimately romantic gesture.